Well, welcome. We have audio tonight. It's a great night to be alive. I want to welcome you. If you are on live with me tonight, please give me a shout out. I sure appreciate it. If you're watching this recorded, please leave your comments. I am live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's here in the state of Washington. So hello to wherever you are hailing from. Please let me know. We have some things in store for us tonight. So again, live is kind of unique in that you have to be ready for it. I shared last week that I'd take a few moments tonight to talk about my preparation for going live. And so I will do that. Our agenda tonight is we want to look at the MC Lights by Aputure because mine finally came. They did not come Tuesday until way after we got off the live show. So I have my D.I.Y case that you're going to see tonight. It's actually right over my shoulder there. So we'll cut to that camera here in a little bit. I have the sky cam ready tonight. We're also going to look at the waterfall / fountain that I've been working on. So I actually have had this idea of a waterfall, a pond or something in my backyard, and we changed houses. We were kind of thinking about doing it about 4 years ago, and then things changed in our family circumstances, and we needed to relocate my wife's parents as well as us. And so we sold 2 houses, and we are side by side right here. So we can just go out the back door over to the in-laws' house, check on my father and my mother, and that's an amazing thing for us because it saves lots of time, and they're getting older, so are we. But again, that way we could be there for them. So the dream had to change to this house. So we actually talked about it. It was on our list, and things happened that made it available for us to have some help. And so we decided to do this whole waterfall event. And I shared last week in the live stream some clips of before as we were getting ready and starting the waterfall / fountain. Some people call it a fountain. It's a fountain / waterfall as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to look at that. I have a little intro I'm going to play here in just a minute for you from the backyard, and the waterfall is out there running right now. I was thinking about possibly being live out there, but I thought it'd be just a lot easier to do a live earlier today or video earlier today. So it's going to roll here in just a minute. Then I have a clip of one little snippet of me building the case. And so I have 3 videos coming out by this next week for sure. So I have an unboxing of the Aputure MCs, and that's really exciting. Again, I have them in the case. We'll talk about that in a minute, and then I'll show you those lights tonight. And we'll talk a little bit about the app and how I'm going to use those now that I have them in my hot hands. And we'll look at that DIY case and why I built it again tonight, and actually show it to you because it's done. At least the first 4 light version of it is done with plans for expanding it, and we'll talk about that tonight. But in preparation for a live stream, you have a number of things to be concerned about. Probably the first thing is what day, what hour are you going to go live? And then you need some kind of still image to put up on YouTube. And you saw the still image tonight. And the still image, I think, should reflect what you're doing. So we're live on Tuesday. I'm in that still image now so that you know that it's me streaming. If you just look at that still image, or you get an alert. And if you ring the bell, you should get an alert before I go live so that you're aware of it. So again, if you are live with me tonight, please give me a shout out, and I'd love to give a shout out to you. Then the second thing, after getting the still image up and setting the time and launching that YouTube, then you got to figure out, how are you going to stream? Are you going to use a webcam? Are you going to use your phone? Are you going to use some device like Mevo is a portable device that you can use? There's plenty of apps that you can stream from your iPad. You could even go from your camera and your webcam and your laptop. Or are you going to use a traditional camera like I use in my studio? I have a number of Canon cameras. You might use a different brand like a Sony, whatever brand. you have to decide what angles you're going to use, and you got to think through that process, because when you're live, you want to be able to just kind of cut to those cameras. So in preparation for tonight, I had some videos to get ready. They go in my HyperDeck. I create some macros to launch those videos to give me just a little bit less stress when I'm live, because I am a one-man show. And then you also have to make sure that those cameras are adjusted right, that you have lights on everything that you want to show. And then, like, I have one camera which times out. So you want to get a camera, if you're going to use a traditional DSLR or a mirrorless camera or a camcorder or something like a Blackmagic Design camera, then you want to make sure that you have good lighting. You want to make sure that you have battery life, or that you have a dummy battery in it to make sure that it's going to last for the show. And some cameras time out. You can't stop that. So this camera doesn't. And the camera that I have on my desk tonight is my A camera, my EOS R. It doesn't time out, but my Canon 5D Mark III does. And I forget about it all the time. So you got to make sure that you check your batteries and make sure all that stuff ready to go. And obviously you need lights and video, and then you have audio. So for me, I have a switch in my Hosta switch that I changed from my speakers in my studio when I'm doing editing and video editing. I use these headphones right here. And I have speakers in here, which I've done a tour of before. And so those are on when I'm just in here editing or working or watching YouTube or whatever. But when I go live, I switch it over to another channel that sends the audio out of my Rodecaster Pro over to my ATEM Extreme ISO. I also have a ATEM Pro on. I use it as well. I'm using the output to send a signal to the monitors right now that I have for confidence. And so again, it's amazing what you're able to accomplish if you have a plan. But if you don't have a plan, and I guess you could just wing it, I think, through what I'm going to talk about. So like tonight, we kind of know where we're going, but I wanted to let you know those are things I have to think about. So not only do I have to think about getting YouTube ready, then when all that stuff's ready, I have a countdown video that I make in OBS. So I take my still image, I bring it into OBS, I play music from my Rodecaster Pro right into OBS, and instead of going live in OBS, I use it to record my intro. And then I bring that intro into Premiere Pro and I render it in a Apple QuickTime format, because that's what my HyperDeck needs. And all of my videos and everything I play from my HyperDeck have to be at the same frame rate, have to be at the same codec. And if you have one at 30 frames per second, another one at 29, or one at 60 and one at 30, it's only going to see one of those. It won't see the whole batch. So you got to make sure you render all those together. So that's kind of the steps to get ready. And then you got to get YouTube open. You got to be ready to go live. You got to play your intro video. And I start usually somewhere, my intro video is 7 minutes long, but I start somewhere between 10 minutes and 9 minutes, sometimes as late as 8 minutes. And I just play some music from my Rodecaster Pro and have my still image up. And then I switch to my intro video. And tonight I'm using Mix Effect to switch to my macros, because I can have them right here. And my ATEM is a little further away. My ATEM Extreme ISO is right over here. And so I've been using Mix Effects, which, you know, we've had Adam Tao here on the show, and that's always exciting to have him. So again, if you are live with me tonight, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're from. I want to say hi back. And if you have any questions tonight about any of these projects I've been working on, the DIY, do-it-yourself Aputure MC case, or the waterfall / project I had outside, which I've shared that it's all about relaxation and all that stuff, then let me have those questions before you go tonight. I would like to address those online, or you can leave them if you're watching this later. You can leave those questions in the comments and I'd be happy to answer those. So the last thing you do is you have to go live on your ATEM, and then you want to go live in YouTube. And so you have that choice to do that. And so YouTube's pretty easy to use. I have noticed lately that I have to refresh or go back and back in if I have it open for a long time before I go live. And that's been happening for the last 3 weeks. And so tonight I did go back and refreshed, had to type in my greeting to you guys fresh, and then hit enter. And you can see that in the notes tonight if you're on live with me, my greetings. So again, that's where we're going tonight. So that's kind of what my thought process leading up to going live. And then I have my microphone muted on my Rodecaster Pro until right before the intro video is done. And then I usually have that macro for my intro video set up so that it already has this camera ready and this still image that you can see right below my hand right here. It's ready to go. So when I hit the auto transition, it goes from my hyperdeck playing in channel 7 right to this is channel 2 in my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. So I have recorded all of that video footage for my DIY case. So you're going to be able to see that this week. I have my unboxing for the Aputure MC done. You're going to see that this week. And also, if everything goes well, I'll have an edited version of the waterfall going together, and a shout out to a client friend of my wife's who helped me out. Ruben was amazing, and you're going to see him in this intro video. So the first thing I want to do, let's get the waterfall build in my backyard out of the way. So here is a recorded video from me earlier today, kind of letting you know about the waterfall being done. And if you want to see some footage of it last week, you can. And then there's some building footage that you're going to see in the upper corner as this video rolls. So let's roll the waterfall intro. I'll be right back. Well, it's done. The waterfall is complete, and it's been a lot of work. I was really sore, but thank you for joining me tonight on the live stream. I wanted you guys to see it first right here on the channel. I'm going to release the video behind the scenes building it this week, as well as my case build for the Aputure MC. We're going to look at that case tonight live, so you get to see it first. And then that video on how I put it together will be live uploaded on the channel this week, as well as this video about this going together. And then I have an unboxing video on the Aputure MC as well. This is just a tranquil place for me. I wanted to share it with my channel. I want to encourage other YouTubers, people that are live streaming, people who are doing meetings, trainings on social media, as well as with your businesses, working from home. All of those of you that have learned and grown from my channel, gamers who full-time game or just do it for fun. It's just a great, important part of our lives to find a place of tranquility. And I've had this vision and this idea in my head for over 10 years, and it was just time to pull it off. And I want to give a shout out to Ruben, who helped us build this. He's my wife's client, and he helped me do about 65% of the work, a lot of the heavy lifting, even though we put those rocks together. Shout out to my son Nathan that helped us lift, the three of us, that big rock in place. And so I want to be quiet for a second and just let you guys enjoy this, and then I want you to see what this looks like at night, and I'll be happy to answer any questions during the live tonight on this and the Aputure MC case. And you'll see some footage of both of these things going together in tonight's live stream. So thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking these videos, and I hope you get a lot out of these two DIY projects as we wrap them up this week. All three videos will be out this week: the unboxing video of the Aputure MC, this video of this going together, and the DIY box creation for the Aputure MC Lights. So let's listen. So cool, and I'm very proud of this creation. Let's go back to the studio. Well, there you have it. That's my little show of the waterfall out back. It's absolutely gorgeous during the day and even more amazing at night. So again, thank you for joining me. So I don't know if you have a place that you go to just kind of chill and reflect and think of maybe ideas for your channel. Maybe you have business where you're using live streaming or Zoom conferencing or all of the other type of conferencing software out there. Maybe you stop by the channel because of my passion for gaming. I've been a gamer for years and years. I actually have a gaming PC right here, and my son actually games all the time next door, and he's actually in the top 2,000 in the game that he's been playing and competing in. So we have lots of passions for those things, but sometimes we just need a place to go out and with a cup of coffee or a nice iced tea like I have in here tonight, and you just want to chill and reflect and take some notes and come up with some video ideas. So that's kind of the waterfall behind the scenes. Video will be available hopefully by the end of this week. The other two videos are going to be out as well. So let's transition right now and talk just a little bit about this DIY case that I started. I don't know if you guys heard, if you've been on the channel before, if you've been here before, but I purchased some Aputure MC lights, and a shout out to those of you that have actually used some of my affiliate links, because I use that money to get new things for the studio. And I try to always, when that money comes in, to talk about them and share why I got them and how I'm going to use them. So last week we were supposed to have the lights. We did not have the lights. I had all of the items ready to do this case, but I had no lights yet. And they could have come and showed up. They were out for delivery on Tuesday when I was live last week, but they did not show up before the live started, and they did not show up until about an hour and a half later. It was very late when they showed up, but I have them now. I have an unboxing video that'll be coming out first this week, and then after that, I'll have the DIY case. So why a case? Well, I wanted to have all 4 soft boxes. So let me cut to Super Source here in my macros. And so there's the case, and you can see it on the shelf there. It is done as far as I have it set up for 4 lights. And the reason that I decided that I wanted to build my own case, 2 reasons. I think do-it-yourself things are popular on YouTube, and they're fun for me. And I want to do more creative stuff for things that make life easier for me and possibly easier for someone else. I had an idea of when I'm out shooting, and I've done many live events and live shoots, done commercials with the company I was with, lots of live streaming, as well as promo shoots. And that's why I got these MC lights, and we're going to grab one here in a minute after I'm done talking about the case. But one of the things that I realized when I started looking at the cases that Aputure offers is they only come with limited of the soft boxes. So let me grab one of these. So these are the soft boxes that go on top of the lights, and you only get 2 of these when you buy Aputure's case that comes with 4 lights. So you get a couple Manfrotto ball heads, but you only get 2 of these. And I think these are super valuable. You can't order them separate. You can tell that Aputure took some time. And so their wireless charging case, which you can plug in and then wirelessly charge all 4 lights right from the slot that they drop into. I'll put a link in the description below so you can go look at that. But I wanted all 4 of these for my 4 lights. In fact, my case is designed to do up to 8 lights. And I wanted some other options. I wanted to be able to charge those lights via USB, because when I did my research, they charge faster if you plug a USB-C to USB cable into them. So they'll charge a little bit faster that way. So I wanted that as an option. I also wanted to have a battery option for charging at least 4 lights. And I wanted to be able to also have a way to charge my phone, because a lot of times I'm using my phone, and occasionally I'll use it for B-roll to grab something real quick that I see when I don't have my camera on me. I can fire up my phone, and I always have it set to the same resolution that I'm producing in. And so having a way to charge that phone if I'm at a shoot all day long, to me is crucial. So I've designed that into the case. So we'll put this back. So I have 4 of these now in my case. And then you can see right here, I have a solar battery pack. This is a 2860 milliamp, and you can wirelessly charge on that side. That's where I'd put my cell phone. So if I wanted to charge my cell phone, I would just drop it on there and it would be able to charge. And then if I'm outside and I want to steal some sun energy and charge up my battery bank, then I can just flip it over, have it outside the case, and I'm still working on a little protection for that one cable. I don't have to have it plugged in, but I have it plugged into my USB bank so it will charge. And I'm going to break down this case very much in the build, so you can watch that video. But tonight I just want to touch base on some things. And I also wanted a place in my 4 case to be able to store stuff like USB cables and other things that I may want for a shoot. So I may want a couple little ball heads. I may want a couple little stands, and I wanted something to store them in. So I also added this bag to my kit. And so that's right there. And so I can drop things in there. There's a couple USB cables in there right now. And then also the battery bank on this side has a flashlight. And on this side, it actually has the ability to charge 3 devices. So you can, the USB-C input in the middle will charge it, and it'll also charge out. So let's cut to my Skycam here. And that's a little closer up look at the case and how I have it laid out. And so behind these are these little discs. I have one out here. I had actually one go bad, but these are actually embedded inside the case. And the video we're about to look at, you're going to see kind of how I did that. So I want to cut and play that video for you right now, so you kind of can see behind the scenes a little sneak peek. You had a sneak peek of the waterfall and a little bit of the building going on. This is going to be just a snippet of me cutting out one of the holes for the Aputure MC Light, and we're going to look at those. I'll have one out when we come back from the video, but I want you to see me here right on the table building this little case, and then we'll come back and you'll see more when the video releases this week. And you'll also see all the things that come with the MC when you buy 1 light at a time. I bought 4 at a time, and you can see all the things you get with it as well. So let's cut and watch this little video of behind the scenes of me doing my video of the case build, the DIY do-it-yourself Aputure MC case that will hold between 4 and 8 of these MC lights. So let's roll that now. So there is our first hole halfway through, and now all we have to do is set this in which direction we want to go. And I think I want to go like this. So I want to then make the outline to cut this all the way through the top of the case. So I'm going to hold this right in place, and I am going to just make these cut marks. Go. Then And so here will be the finished product. That's one light and one charger. So we'll come back when all the holes are cut, and then we'll go on to the next step of this build. Well, there's just a sneak peek of that case that I built, and I have it set up now so I can wirelessly charge. This actually one broke on me. It was my fault, and I got these from a local hardware store. These are little charging discs, and they have a little micro USB input in them, and then I have them plugged into the hub. So the 4 USB outlets on the side, let's cut back to super source. So the 4 on the left, it plugged into that little USB hub, go to these little chargers, and you saw me cutting those in the foam. And these are wirelessly chargeable, and so they sit right on here. And you know they're charging because this little readout will come on, and it won't come on right now because this is not plugged in. But if I was to go up here and take my little battery bank that's right there, now I have turned on the button, and now if I set this on there, it's going to charge. The little light comes on. I'll flip to the sky cam. So you should be able to see that. Let me turn it around so you can see it from the sky cam. So you have the little hue light on to let you know it is charging. So that is able to charge charge one of my lights. And then you can also see that right here, you have 3 USB outlets, and they're in the side of this. So I can charge one wireless MC from that wireless part of that battery bank. And I also can plug in USB cables and plug 3 other lights in. So I'll be able to charge my lights using USB, 3 of them. I have 2 available hubs coming from my USB hub. That's that right there. And they're hanging there, and I can plug all of my lights in. So I could have up to 6 lights plugged into USB power. And I'm planning on to be able to wirelessly charge 5. So overall, I want to have 8 and maybe even 9 or 10 lights that I'll have in the case. And they'll be just tucked in sideways. And if I need to charge those while I'm using another one, I'll be able to drop them in one of those 4 slots. So this case is going to be kind of a working case. So not really designed like the 12 case by Aputure to charge all 12. And again, if you buy the 4 case, you get 2 soft boxes. If you buy the case that has 12 lights, you only get 4 soft boxes. Now there's some other bonuses. You have a D-tap cable and the ability to use the 12 case and have a D-tap to a regular battery bank. I have added a battery bank for mine. That 2860 milliamp battery that I have right there will charge all 4 lights a number of times. Or if I have 8, I could charge all 8, not at the same time. But again, if I'm plugged in, I could be charging 4 wirelessly in the case, or plug in some USB cables to them and have the other 4 being charged either wirelessly or even 5, because counting this one, I can charge 5 wirelessly. So I have 4 wirelessly chargers like this inside the case underneath the Aputure lights. And I have the battery bank that's there, which is solar ready. So I can flip it over and charge it in the sun and get some juice for free if I'm out doing a shoot. So let's talk real quickly. I didn't have these last week. The reason I got them is I want some accent lights in the studio, and I'm not using them in the studio tonight. But I want to add some color on the shelf. I want to add some color in different places in here. And when I'm out doing shoots, I also want to add some color. So let's turn this on. So right now it's set to red, and I'm not sure how well the colors are showing up on the screen, but on the side of this, you can see the red on my face. And this is actually set right now. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's set to the color mode. Excuse me. So you can do hue or saturation on the front little panel on it. And what you do is you hold down the little wheel. There's a little wheel right here on the side. You also have a USB-C port right here on the side. And you also have a button, which is on and off, and it just toggles on and off. And then you can push down on this little wheel. And when you hold down for a long period of time, it goes into the menu. And once you're in the menu, you have this little LED readout, and you can go to HSI mode, effects mode, and effects are really kind of cool. Yeah, this is the party mode. So you can see right now I'm at a party, and then I'll switch this over to pulsing. So it just has a pulsing mode. You could use that for whatever you wanted. If you're trying to get that idea that I have a police car outside of my house and I'm looking out the window to see what's going on, I have that effect. A fire. So if I want to shoot outside and be in front of my little fire pit and have a really nice effect on my face, then the camera that's shooting me would get this fire pulsing. Or if I was watching TV, then I could have a TV look on my face, and you may not see that with all the light that's on here tonight, but this is gonna flicker like a TV. Or if you are getting a close-up of someone in a lightning storm, looking out the window again, and there's lightning, then you have the lightning effect, and there you go. And so if you have 4 of these, it's great. And the other thing I love about these is they're magnetic. So if you can find anything that's actually metal, and I didn't think about this ahead of time, my case is metal. I just stuck it right here on my case. You guys can't see that, but it's got great magnets. In fact, I've been able to hang this with 1 magnet, but it has 2 magnets. So you have all of that. So not only do you have a bicolor mode, which I'll go into right now, we'll turn lightning off. And I'm doing unboxing, and I'll talk more about this. So I can raise the intensity right now. So now it's on full brightness. I'm going to take it down to, let's go down to like 30%. And I'm going to hold the button down. I'm going to switch out of that mode. Go into bicolor mode. So I'm at 38K now. It goes all the way down. Let me run it down. It goes down to 30K Kelvin or 3200 Kelvin, and then which is warm if you know anything about Kelvin temperature. And then if you take it all the way up, you can go to daylight, which is what my lights are set in the studio right now, between mostly at 56K. And then I can go all the way up to 65 Kelvin, which is really, really bright daylight. And then obviously I could also change the intensity. So right now that light is only at 38%. So I'm going to crank it up right now to give you an idea of how bright that would go. So once I'm in that Kelvin temperature mode, first you can change the Kelvin temperature. You click it again, 1 quick push, then you can change how intense you want the light. And again, it'll go, let's go all the way down to 0%. You can see it's off. I can even go up to 1%. Hold this in the camera. Let's switch back to camera 2 here. And then I can bring this all the way up to 100% brightness. And there it is. And they say at 100% brightness, I'm going to get about 2 hours of battery life. The battery's built in, which is another great thing. And I guess what I saw when I was doing research on these was that what people really liked about it is the portability. I mean, you can see the size of it. It's not the size of a deck of cards. I haven't put it up against a deck of cards, but that's its closest illustration. So you can imagine the size case you would need to be able to just get 12 of these if you weren't trying to charge them. If you got a case that deep, you could probably put 30 of these in like that instead of sideways. So I bought this case because I made a sample of this size box out of cardboard. And then I used it to measure cases and thought it through, and then try to find some discs that I could get inside the case. And so I cut these in the bottom half, so they're up in there, and then put the foam back in to hold them in place. And then I cut this in on the top. So when you look from the top, you have a hole that size. If you were to turn over my foam, you have a hole that size if you were to take out the pieces that I taped in. I originally was going to use cardboard, but I decided just to take wrapping tape and tape those in. That way it left some breathing holes for them to be able to get temperature out. And again, remember, when these are in the foam, you wouldn't probably want to do it on a super hot day. I'll probably plug these in USB when it's super hot outside. But if I'm indoors and air conditioned, I'm just drop these in the slot and let them charge. So you have bipolar, you have RGB, you also have Lee filters in the app. So let's fire up the app here real quick. Again, I want to shout out to Craig for being on live. Thank you. If you're on live with me tonight, please say hi and let me know where you're from so I can give a shout out to you. So I'm actually monitoring the live right now from my iPhone. I have on my iPad the app called Mix Effect, which helps me remote control my studio here, mainly my ATEMs. I have two of them. I have the Pro I use sometimes, and I have the Extreme. So let me change over here to the app. And it's called the Sidus Link, and it's a great app. So I have different settings in here, different scenes. You can set up scenes, and then you just have to go into your Aputure MC and reset it. There's an ability for you to reset it in there, and the directions are really easy to follow. And once you reset it, once you go into the scene mode, it's going to search for the lights you have in that scene. So I could have a scene with 4 lights. Once I get 8 lights, I could have a scene with 8 lights. I could have a scene with 2 lights. So let's say I just want to use it as a hair light and want to stick it on a C-stand above my head, right off camera. I could use 2 of these stuck on there magnetically on the C-stand, put these soft boxes on them, and I should show you how those soft boxes go on. And again, I am doing an unboxing of this week, so I'll pop this softbox on and show it to you here real quick. So now with the softbox on, it just snaps on. It's just rubber, and it has vents on the side where there's vents. It has the ability to control. You have the vents on the bottom, plus the ability to add a ball head or whatever. A light stand would screw in here. And on that side, you have the readout. And again, I had it turned all the way down the last time we used it. So it was all the way down to 0 intensity. So I'm going to crank this up now. And this just gives a softer light. And there's a distance between the light and the softbox. So it actually creates some really good light. Now it does cut the light a bit. I haven't done research to see how many stops, but I am going to do that with my deal. And you can see it actually, if I shine it on the camera, it changes the aperture on or the ISO on my camera. But again, it makes it a nice soft light. And so now I'm going to set this right here where you can see it. We'll turn it a little bit off camera. And now I'm going to go in the app and see if it sees my light. So I can change the color temperature on that light, and I can change the intensity on that light. And I'm doing that right here from the app because I already had a scene set up for that light. And even if I had it set up for 4 and it only finds the 1 light, it's going to kick into the ability to control that 1 light. And if you have 4, then you have to choose those lights individually. So imagine what you could do with these lights in your studio, right? You're right about to go live. It's on your list of things to do. I have these lights to turn on tonight. I'm using my overhead lights to light the box. And again, camera 3 shows you my new box I just designed for my Aputure MCs. And so if you had to get all these lights ready and you wanted to set the colors, you could do it all right from your iPad or your iPhone or your smartphone device using this Sidus Link app. And it's great that you can set up a bunch of scenes. So let's say you do a lot of music video recordings and you want to have scenes set up. So you just go out and set up your lights. You can set them up on C-stands magnetically in the background. Black C-stands would just blend in. And you could have these lights on looking like towers, and you could have 4 of those on each tower. If you had a bunch of these lights, you could have many, many of those. And it's amazing what you're going to be able to do once you create a scene with all these lights. So there's so many things that I'm going to be able to do with this little light. I'm going to be able to control it from my phone. I'm going to be able to charge it from my new case. I'm going to have a battery backup to charge if I have no place to plug my case in. And I'm also going to have that solar ability in that battery bank. And when I buy 4 more, I may buy another battery bank. So we'll see. And I am going to bring the case here when I get 4 more lights, and I'm going to show it off when I get 4 built into it. And so you look at the case and you wonder, where am I going to get those? So let's cut to camera 3 again. So move my mic here so you can still hear me. I'm going to actually put a couple more over here, possibly 3. And then I have room over here. These soft boxes will go in the bag. And then I have more room over here in the case. So again, I have lots of options of where I'm going to put those. And if I can get more than 8 in my case, I'm going to get more of those in my case. So let's just say I wanted to use this as a hair light. Let's just see what it could do. This is just one at 100%. And if I just wanted a hair light, given a little bit more dimension and separating me from the background, I do have a light up here. It's a Elgato key light. I have it up here to do a little bit of shadow up here, but I could just have a C-stand up here. Or if I needed a hair light at a promo video or something I'm shooting, or if I needed a light just to add some background light, there's lots of uses for these little Aputure lights. So if you have a question tonight, I'm going to get back in my phone, exit the app. There's lots more about this app that we could talk about, but if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. I see Bill, you're on. Thank you so much. I have not figured out if you can control, Bill's question is, can I control them from my StreamDeck or can I control them from Companion? And I haven't looked to see if there's any compatibility. I'm planning on controlling them mainly from the app in my phone because I'll be setting up scenes here in the room. But I can see why you're asking that, if I could just turn a scene on my StreamDeck XL. And I have a StreamDeck with 32 buttons and I can add pages, and I've shared many times I use those mainly to control my 2 lights, my Elgato key lights, and then my son has an Elgato key light Air, and he has a StreamDeck, and he uses it to start and stop his games. I used it when I was programming OBS and launching OBS, but mainly right now I have Companion, but I haven't been using Companion because I've really been working with Mix Effect, learning it more and more each week, as well as using my ATEM Extreme buttons and also using my StreamDeck, and I really need to use it more. So I will get an answer for that, Bill, because I'm curious as well. I've only had the lights for a week. I've been building a waterfall slash fountain in my backyard, which took us literally 6 of the last 8 days. So I was busy out there, lots of sun. My tan is way darker this week than it was last week. I even shedded some water because I was out in the sun a lot. So I've actually trimmed down a bit in the last 10 days, but that's a great question. And I appreciate you, asking that. And I wish I had an answer. So I don't yet, but I will get an answer for you. So Craig, if you have any questions about the DIY case, if you guys are thinking about some projects around your house, like a pond or a waterfall, The only reason I'm adding this to my channel, and I like to add some things occasionally for my channel, is because it's going to be my place. I've always had this ability to go to my front porch in my old house and unwind and just really reflect and do some reading, some notes. I could car watch and people watch. And now in my backyard, my house faces this breezeway, or this area that's not going to have any houses in it. And it's about 150 yards, and they put a path back there so I could still sit on my back patio and see that path, people walking by. But mainly it's out there for me just to reflect. And there's something about running water, and that's why I'm going to have that DIY on my channel. And then also I want you guys to see how this case went together in case you might want to build a case as well. I also went out and got the links, and they'll be in the videos. And here's all the things that I used. That's a rigid case. And I did want to say this before we get off the whole DIY Aputure MC Light charging case. But the reason I picked rigid, and there's some other brands at my local hardware store, is what really captivated me in not getting a Pelican case or a Nanook case. And I have one Pelican case, and I have 4, I think, total Nanook cases, and I love their cases. So shout out to those companies. But these stack. They're like for people that work and contracting and things like that. But what fascinated me was I can get the bigger case, what has wheels on the bottom. And I think I saw it yesterday. It retails for a little over $100 for that big case. Well, they all snap into each other. So I can actually stack, and I wish I had taken a picture of this, but I can actually stack all these on top of each other. And I love the little top case that you can get because it has these little compartments built into it. So that's a place for me to be able to put tripod things, L keys, all of that stuff, all the little screws, the adapters that I need. I can put in some really short USB-C cables, all those things that you wish you had when you were traveling somewhere. I am really looking forward to be able to stack this case up, and then I will be sharing every time I add a new case to my kit. I'm going to DIY it and make it fit. And so one of those may be the cameras I'm going to take to a outside shoot, or it might be lights in one of those cases, because I do need lights, obviously, when I go shoot. And I do have a set of photo deox lights I take out. In fact, I've had them for a number of years, and I just ordered 2 MIDI cables right before we went live. I love those lights. I love their soft boxes. And I also love the Godox lights I have here in the studio, the UL150s, as well as the nice photo soft boxes that actually have grids, and I use them with grids. I have grids on them tonight so I can control the light. So again, we looked at the waterfall. We have looked at the DIY case, right? So if you just got on here, you didn't see it. There's the case that I built. If I go into Super Source, you can see a wider shot of the case, and it's all ready to go. It's actually plugged in right now. So I've been using this light, and so I can take this MC light out right now, and you can see that it is off. There's nothing lit up. So you can see the difference. There it is lit up, and you can see the little LCD screen, and there's what it's off. And then if I take this and put it back in its slot, the reason I got that USB hub is it actually lets me know it's charging and that they're getting ampage. So all of them are charging, including my little portable solar battery bank. So it's plugged in right now and charging. So this is exactly how my case would be right before I go to use it, maybe the night before, or I'll plug it in, get everything charged up, including my solar battery brick. I even have a flashlight if I need it. And so I can push the button here. There's a flashlight on, push it again. It flashes, push it again. It's strobing, push it again, and it's off. So that side is solar panel, and this side is for wirelessly charging. So and I'm using my phone right now. to run the app and to see the chat. Here's my cell phone right here. But let's just see if it charges. Let's pop it on there. And there's a light on top of the battery bank for the wireless side that goes blue if it's charging. And there it goes. It turned blue. You just have to make sure you position your phone correctly. And there it goes. I'm charging my iPhone. I've been using it to get ready for the live stream, and now it's charging. So that case is going to be invaluable for me in my portable, travels. I've always had battery banks, but they're always somewhere, and I'm looking for them all the time. I love the idea that I can flip open this case, and I'm going to have that battery bank right there. When I add more lights, it's probably going to be Velcroed up there above my cables. That top section right now is just being used to organize my USB cables because I want them plugged into the 8-port bank, and I want them ready to charge something. So they are USB-C right now, but I could dedicate one of those USB outs for Lightning for my phone or my iPad, depending on what I'm doing. And that's why in this bag, I will always have Lightning cables. I will have micro cables. I'll have USB to USB-C cables. I'm going to have a USB-C to USB-C because that's what I will need to be able to charge from the center port of my battery bank. It's USB-C, and I'm charging USB-A to USB-C right now. But if I want to come out of that battery bank and reverse it and draw power from it, I have to have a USB-C to USB-C in order to charge my Aputure lights, because each one of those has a USB-C port. So, and you can see right now I have all of these nice places. This is a great kit if you just want to use it for 4 lights. And you should be able to build this by watching the video that's going to come out this week and build it yourself. It did cost me more than the 4 kit from Aputure. I bought 4 lights for $90 on Amazon and 90 and some change, maybe $91 a piece. I got 4 soft boxes. I got USB-C cables for all 4 of those lights. And the case itself, I think, was under $50. And then all the other accessories that I bought was probably about another $100. So instead of you being able to get 4 lights with 2 soft boxes and a charging case without solar charging for a battery bank and without a battery bank, but you will be able to plug it in and wirelessly charge all 4 of your Aputure lights if you buy that case, you'll be able to get that for under $500 to build a case like this, depending on where you get all the supplies for 4 lights. With the battery bank, it's going to cost you about $150, $160. And so that's a comparison. I just wanted a case that I could expand, and I'll have a link to all of those items, though the case was least expensive when I went to my hardware store or bought it directly from Home Depot. They had a great deal. They've bought hundreds and hundreds of these across the United States for their stores, and they're selling them for less than I can buy them on Amazon online, but not that much more. You can buy them. And I have all those links. I will link them after we get off tonight. And they'll also be in the 3 videos that are coming out. One of them, actually 2 videos, the Aputure MC unboxing video, which will come out first. And then I have the D.I.Y case for those Aputure MC lights as well that will be coming out. And they will have the links, as well as last week's video has the links. And this week's live video will have the links as well. So I just heard, I told you one of my cameras turns off automatically, and that's my Canon 5D Mark III. So if you're thinking about buying a Canon 5D Mark III for live streaming, you will have a limit, even if you have a dummy battery in it. And even if you have it set to not time off from the screen or shut down automatically, it will still time out after 29 minutes and a few seconds. So keep that in mind. I'll have to jump up there and turn it back on if I want to show you that close-up of the case. And I'll show you now, if I was to cut to camera 3, there's nothing there because that camera's dead. And so I'll leave that on, show you. I can literally jump up and you'll see that camera kick right back on. And now I'm good for another 30 minutes. So I actually have my EOS R on right now. That's the picture next to me. and I love that camera. I'm using the Canon 5D Mark IV right now. I love that camera as well. One is a mirrored camera and the other one's a mirrorless, and I've used them both to shoot. I love my Canon 5D Mark III for video. And I also love it for photography. And a lot of times that's the camera that I will take out of them and just to go do a photo shoot or go get some B-roll because it does great. And it just is not great for live streaming because it times out. Now, you can, I believe, I haven't tried it yet, use the Canon free beta app for live streaming, but I think it cuts it down to 720p. And I still think that it will time out when you use it with that app. So if you're looking for a live streaming camera, get something. If you're going with a traditional DSLR or a mirrorless camera, make sure you get something that doesn't time out. So that's all I had. I really want to take some time tonight to answer any questions. So I've been, grab my phone back. We'll look to see what's going on here in the chat. Any other questions that you guys have about the DIY case that we have up here, or maybe you have a question. Let's go to a macro here. I have one. Where are you? Me and a logo. So back to the main camera. So if you have a DIY project that you're doing, or you have any questions about any of those items, I will try to get an answer for you. So I've got some research to do, Bill, about the Companion app. Now, if you don't know anything about Companion, check out John Barker's Here to Record, and you can learn all about that app. He also has HDR graphics. He just came out with another version of HDR that does other stuff, the map. And anyway, so check that out. Also, Aaron Parecki. I love his channel. I learn lots from his channel. He's live every Sunday. And he has really been a great mentor for me to be able to listen to. And there's many other people on YouTube. And I'm growing this channel. We are getting very close to 700 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do and like these videos. If you know anybody that would benefit from it, share it. If you have, again, some questions or some things you would like to have me cover, things that I already have in the studio, that you can't find on my channel, please let me know that too. So I'm just going to look here to see if there's any questions to wrap up tonight. Just have that one. Craig, hi from Texas. Appreciate you saying hi from where you're at. That's it, man. 2 major DIY projects. I put the case together yesterday and shot video, so I'll be editing that starting tomorrow. And about 5 days ago, I did my unboxing. I still need to edit that because I was out building a waterfall outside. So, and I'm looking forward to going out there. I have family here at the house right now. So as soon as we're done with live, I'm going to be hanging out with all 3 of my sons are here right now at my house, and I'm excited to hang out with them tonight. But I'm also very excited to hang out with you. I love video production. I love photography. I love everything about live streaming. So join me if you guys would like to know a little bit more about live streaming each week, and we'll be covering stuff like that. So again, any question, guys, before I go? Hey, David, thanks for joining me. So this is the Q&A. Any questions about live streaming, getting ready for a live stream? That was one of the topics tonight. Building that case, the MC Lights by Aputure, or anything about what I have in the studio. I've talked about 2 different Blackmagic design switchers that I have, the ATEM Mini Pro and the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. I did ISO recordings, so I have all of that footage. And if you don't know what ISO recordings are, when I record from my ATEM Extreme ISO, I can record every single channel, even if I'm not using the input. I can record it. So yesterday when I was doing the DIY build, I had the Skycam on, I had this camera on, I had my EOS R on, I also had a mobile camera over on the table on, and so I have recordings of all of those, and so I can cut to whatever camera that I want. I didn't do any kind of cutting when I was recording because I can do that later in post. But it also recorded the program out. So if I just want to watch it back and see the program view, I can do that, and I could just edit the program view if I wanted to, and if there's something I want to show a close-up on, I can now cut to those other views. So thank you guys for being with me tonight. I am, it's early still, I think. Let's look at the time. It's 5 o'clock, and we've been going till about 5:20, 5:30, but if we're done tonight and you guys don't have any questions, Craig, wow, here we go. It came up. There's a delay on Facebook, so it takes a few seconds. Did you consider the cases from Harbor Freight versus Pelican cases in selecting the cases for your D.I.Y? No, I didn't go to Harbor Freight. I almost did. One of the days I had to be somewhere, I was driving by Harbor Freight, because there's one right here, and I didn't go in there. I did do some searching online at what Harbor Freight had. I had to also go get some stuff for the guy who was helping me for my waterfall / fountain build. And so because I had to go to Home Depot, I decided to walk over and look at every case they had. And when I found that rigid case, I got to tell you, I was surprised at the price. And Harbor Freight has great cases as well. And I was also surprised that it was exactly what I was looking for. So again, because it stacks, and I shared that earlier, something about this being able to be a stacking group. Imagine I can throw this in the back of my SUV, get the cases to stack up to that height, pop it in there, and then pull it out, pull the handle up off the bottom case that has roller wheels on it, and roll it into a job site, separate the cases to where I need them in my setup. And that's going to be amazing for me. So great question. Thank you so much. Man, I tell you, guys, I got to say that to be able to, I lost the chat here, to be able to, what did I do? Go back to live. There we go. Got the chat back. Somehow I clicked the play button. So I hope that answers your question. Craig, thank you for that. So we had a question tonight from Bill. Question tonight from David. If you are watching this delayed or you are watching it later, please let me know your questions. I'm going to be watching for those. I get an alert every time a question comes up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you've joined me for the first time ever, there's some great resources in my other lives, and the live algorithm is a little different. You probably won't get a lot of lives popping up unless you visit the channel. So make sure you look through the playlists and see if there's anything there that you want to know more about in the playlist. So again, some great questions. I'll give you a few more seconds here to see if any questions need to populate in the live stream. And I am very appreciative of you guys joining me, giving up this time on your Tuesdays, if it's still Tuesday where you're from. Shout out to Freddie here in the video. He actually emailed me saying that he couldn't be on live tonight. I think this will be the first live that Freddie Ponce from Venezuela has not been on. So he's been with me almost since the beginning, and I want to just shout out to him. Also, if you haven't checked out the new videos from Adam Tao on Mix Effects, he's done another updates out, and he did videos on it. He did a more thorough video on how to use the Mix Effects app, including Super Source. And actually, Super Source is only available if you have the Extreme ISO, or the bigger switchers. The ME2, I believe it's in. But the Mix Effect app is still a great tool for you to use for your live streams. You can launch your macros from it. It's only $50, one-time fee. Adam's doing all kinds of updates. He's let me give input. It now controls the HyperDeck. I can only change cards in my HyperDeck. I can have both cards plugged in, but I can't change those cards any other way automatically but through Mix Effects, which is one of those cool things that Adam added. And now when I'm recording in Mix Effects, it goes red. So I know I'm recording on my HyperDeck. So if you had 4 HyperDecks and you were using one to record, another one to play back animated graphics, and another one to play back video footage, like I played 2 video clips tonight, plus it's a video intro and a video outro. All of those are on my HyperDeck. Last week, I did a warp-in effect. That video of the warp-in is on my HyperDeck, and I have macros programmed to launch all of those, and I can launch them through MixFX. Now, if I want to change in my HyperDeck, I can plug in card 1, unplug card 2, and it'll automatically switch over, but it does not read from both cards at the same time. But Adam found a way, if both cards are plugged in, to switch over. Now, do remember you have to have all the files on those cards, the same codec, same frame rate, in order for them to work. And I think that's one of the things that you'll see possibly changed in a future update by Blackmagic Design. So I don't want to be long-winded, but thank you, Craig, for that. Hello from Australia. Cool, man. Roto, thank you for joining me. We're almost done. So make sure you go back and watch the whole video, but thank you for joining us. Obviously, being live is different than uploading a video. I got to be honest with you. I'd much rather be on with you live than just upload a video that I pre-recorded. Not against that. I know that lots of people consume that. I consume lots and lots of hours of those videos to learn. I did when I was searching the Aputure MC Lights. I did that when I was searching my Elgato key lights, which is on me right now. My Godox UL150s. I did lots of research looking for a quiet light, and they are quiet. So my Elgato lights don't make any noise. My Godox lights do not have a fan, and they're bright, and that's why I have those. So thank you for joining me. It's great. Please feel free to ask questions. Please let me know when you're on live with me, because then it's like knowing you're here. If you want to be incognito, that's fine with me as well. If I during a live embarrass you, please send me a message and let me know. I don't want to embarrass you in any way, but I do want to say thank you for joining me live. So that's kind of the DIY week. I've got lots of editing to do. I've got lots of videos to upload. So I hope you'll come back and you'll watch those, the unboxing, and you'll watch that DIY build, as well as I hope you'll watch the waterfall build as well. I have lots of time in that shooting, and I'll have lots of time in editing that. And if you're not interested, that's fine. Let me know what you would like to learn or ask me questions, and your questions may spur a conversation next week, Bill. So we may actually talk about Companion and the StreamDeck next week in regards to the Aputure Lights, depending on what I find out. So man, thank you so much for joining me live. It looks like I've covered all the questions. I'm super honored that you came on live with me. And if you have any ideas of things that you would like me to talk about in the future, please let me know. And I will continue to try to add those things to our Tuesdays live. I will see you again here next Tuesday. There is an outside chance I may have to change times. I may be unloading a truck from California of one of my kids' stuff. So I'll keep you posted. We don't know when that's going to arrive yet, but if that doesn't happen on Tuesday, I'll be here at 4 o'clock next Tuesday with you, Pacific Standard Time, right here from the state of Washington in my little town, Richland, Washington. And thank you for joining me from all over. So again, MixFX is a way for me to do an outro. And so I am going to push the button again tonight on MixFX, which is going to activate my macro, and I am going to actually be able to do our outro here tonight from MixFX. So I'm just looking for my outro video. Wow, I don't see my outro. So I'm going to have to roll my outro video manually. This has been something I haven't done in a long time. So outro, I'm getting ready to hit play. I will see you guys very, very soon. And until then, man, just stay happy, stay safe, and we'll see you in those videos this week and live next Tuesday.